Stop everything and do not scroll past this moment, because what you are about to witness is not just a promise. It is the exact second everything changed between Zhao Lusi and Wu Lei, and if you stay with this until the very end, you're going to understand why this oath left fans speechless, and why it might be the most powerful moment they have ever shared. It did not happen in front of flashing cameras. It did not happen on a grand stage. It did not happen in a way anyone expected. And that is exactly why it felt real. The night was quiet, not silent, but calm in a way that allowed every detail to matter. Soft lights. A setting that felt almost too simple for something so important. No crowd. No noise. Just a space where nothing could distract from what was about to happen. Zhao Lusi stood there first. Her expression calm, but unreadable. Not nervous. Not uncertain, but thoughtful. As if she had already replayed this moment in her mind long before it arrived. Wu Lei walked in moments later. Not rushed. Not dramatic. Just present. And the moment their eyes met, something shifted. Not visibly. Not in a way that could be easily explained. But enough to be felt. Because some connections do not need words to be understood. They exist in the way people look at each other. The way they pause. The way they choose not to speak until the moment feels right. There was no script. No lines prepared. No expectations beyond what they were willing to say. And that is what made it powerful. Because nothing about it was controlled. Zhao Lusi spoke first. Her voice steady. Not loud. Not dramatic. But clear. She said that everything they had gone through had brought them to this point. Not just the moments people saw, but the ones no one knew about. The quiet conversations. The long silences. The decisions that were never explained. And she said something that made everything stop. She said she did not want to lose what they had. Not because it was perfect, but because it was real. Wu Lei did not interrupt. He did not react immediately. Because some words deserve to be heard fully before anything is said in return. He stepped closer. Not quickly. Not urgently. Just enough to close the distance that had once existed between them. And then he spoke. Not with hesitation. Not with doubt. But with a certainty that surprised even those who thought they understood him. He told her that he had made a decision long before this moment. A decision not to walk away. Not to let distance or pressure change what they meant to each other. And then he said it. The words that no one expected to hear, so clearly. He promised her that no matter what happened, he would not leave. Not when things were easy. Not when things became difficult. Not when everything around them tried to pull them apart. He promised to stay. And that was when everything changed. Because promises are easy to say. But this one did not feel like words. It felt like a choice. A commitment. Something that carried weight beyond the moment it was spoken. Zhao Lusi looked at him. Not with surprise. But with something deeper. Something that suggested she understood exactly what that promise meant. She did not smile immediately. She did not react in a way that made it feel light. Because she knew this was not a light moment. This was something that would define everything that came after. She took a breath. Not to steady herself, but to be sure that what she said next mattered just as much. She told him that promises like that are not meant to be easy. They are meant to be tested, to be challenged, to be proven over time. And then she did something no one expected. She made the same promise back, not repeating his words, not copying what he said, but matching it in a way that felt just as strong. She told him she would stay too. Not because it was simple, not because it was safe, but because what they had was worth it. And that was when the silence returned. Not empty, not uncomfortable, but full. Full of everything that had just been said. Full of everything that had not been said. Full of a moment that would not be forgotten. Because some moments do not need an audience to be powerful. They create their own impact. They exist in a way that does not depend on who is watching. But when the story reached the public, everything changed again. Because what was once private became something everyone wanted to understand. Fans reacted instantly. Shock. Emotion. Questions. Because what they saw was not just a romantic moment. It was something deeper, something that did not feel staged, something that did not feel temporary. And that is what made it unforgettable. But the most powerful part of this story is not the promise itself. It is what comes after. Because promises are not measured in the moment they are made. They are measured in the moments that follow. The difficult ones. The uncertain ones. The ones where walking away would be easier. And now the only question that remains is this. When two people promise to never leave each other, knowing that life will challenge that promise in ways they cannot predict, is it the promise that matters? Or is it the choice to keep it no matter what comes next? If this moment made you feel something real and you want to see how this story continues, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who believes that the strongest promises are not the ones spoken perfectly. They are the ones that survive everything that tries to break them. The moment their words settled into the silence, it should have felt like the end of something, a perfect scene fading into memory. But if you stay with this until the very end, you're going to understand why what happened after that promise between Zhao Lusi and Wu Lei was not about the moment itself. It was about everything that came after it. For a while, nothing changed on the surface. They returned to their routines. Schedules continued. Appearances remained the same. Everything looked exactly as it had before. But something had shifted. Not visibly. Not in a way that could be easily pointed out, but in a way that could be felt in every interaction. Because once a promise is made, it does not disappear when the moment ends. It follows, quietly, constantly, present in ways that cannot be ignored. Their conversations became different, not more frequent, not more intense, but more intentional. Every word chosen carefully, every pause carrying meaning. As if both of them understood that what they had said could not be undone. And that meant everything mattered now. Zhao Lusi found herself thinking about it in unexpected moments. Not when she was alone. Not when she had time to reflect. But in the middle of ordinary things. A glance. A memory. A silence that reminded her of how everything had changed. Because promises do not stay in one place. They move with you. They exist in every moment that follows. Wu Lei carried it differently, not visibly, not in a way that drew attention, but in the way he responded to things. More patient, more grounded, as if he had already decided that whatever came next, he would not step away from it. And that decision showed, not in grand gestures, but in small ones, the kind that matter more over time. Days turned into weeks. And the world around them began to notice something. Not a confirmation, not a statement, but a consistency. A quiet alignment in the way they existed around each other. As if something unspoken was holding everything together. But not everything stays simple. Because the moment something becomes real, it is tested. Not dramatically, not all at once, but slowly. In ways that reveal whether it can last. The first test came unexpectedly. Not from outside, but from within. A disagreement. Small at first. Something that could have been ignored. Something that would have been ignored before. But now it carried more weight. Because when something matters, even small things feel bigger. Zhao Lusi questioned him. Not accusing. Not confronting. But trying to understand. Because understanding is what keeps things from breaking. Wu Lei listened. Not defensively. Not trying to win, but trying to see what she saw. Because promises are not about being right. They are about staying. Even when things become uncomfortable. The conversation did not resolve everything immediately. It was not perfect. It was not smooth. But it was honest. And that was what mattered. Because honesty is what keeps something real. The tension faded. Not because it was ignored, but because it was faced. And that was the difference. Because before the promise, things could have been left unsaid. But now they could not. Because leaving things unsaid creates distance. And distance is what they had promised to avoid. The final moment did not come with drama. It did not arrive suddenly. It grew, quietly, through every choice they made. Through every moment they stayed when it would have been easier to leave. Through every time they chose understanding over silence. Until one day, they found themselves standing in a place that felt different. Not because something had changed, but because they had. Zhao Lusi looked at him, not searching, not questioning,
Just seeing.
seeing what had been built. Not perfectly, not without difficulty.
But genuinely.
Wu Lei met her gaze, not with uncertainty, but with clarity, because now he knew what the promise meant beyond the moment it was made. It was not about never facing challenges. It was about never walking away from them. She told him something simple, that she finally understood what they had said that night. Not just the words, but the meaning behind them. And that understanding had changed everything. He did not respond immediately, because some things do not need to be answered right away. Some things need to be felt first. And when he did speak, it was not to repeat the promise. It was to show that it had already become part of who they were. The story does not end with a dramatic conclusion. It does not end with a perfect resolution. It ends with something far more powerful. Two people choosing to stay. Not because it is easy, not because it is expected, but because it is real. And now the only question that remains is this. When a promise is no longer just words, but something you live every day, does it become stronger over time? Or does it reveal everything you were not ready to face? If this continuation made you feel something real and you want to see what happens next, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who believes that the strongest promises are not the ones made once. They are the ones kept again and again, even when it is difficult.